Well, what's up guys? This is Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and hey, you remember the other day when I said winter happened in Oklahoma and it got freezing? Well, today I'm wearing a hoodie, but it's really t-shirt weather. It's like 65 degrees this morning. It feels like spring. I'm probably gonna have to open up the high tunnel so it doesn't get too hot in there today, because if the sun pops out, it'll be like 100 degrees in the greenhouse. But that's not what we're gonna be doing. First, we're gonna go check Houston's traps. He's not here today, as you can clearly see. It's just me. He's at school, so we're gonna go check all of his traps. We've caught several more raccoons that we haven't shown on video, so I think we're up to like 9 or 10 so far, a couple possums. But that's not what we're really here to talk about today. Last year, if you were around on our channel, we did several trail camera videos on my neighbor's property. So my neighbor has a bunch of cows. He raises a lot of cows, and it's calving season this time of year, and he loses a few calves every year. It's just normal loss, not necessarily a problem due to coyotes or a problem due to predators or anything like that. It's just calves that were born dead, and he kind of puts them all in one spot on an old brush pile. And I got permission to put up a trail camera there just to see how many coyotes and stuff were coming in. And I'm telling you what, we're doing the same thing again this year. We're going to show you some videos. We're going to show you some pictures. I think I got a Chupacabra on video. I don't know if you know what a Chupacabra is, but they're a hairless, ugly creature. Looks like a coyote with no hair. We got Chupacabra on camera. Isaac, dude. You don't need to be up there, bro. This is not a good spot. Nobody wants to eat the hay that you've been laying on, buddy. Nothing in the live trap tonight, but as you can see, there's a cleaned up dirty spot. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? A disturbed spot in the soil. We caught a raccoon there a couple nights ago. I'm gonna pull the card out of that camera. I'll show you. He should be on there going in the cage. Didn't catch one last night. Now, a lot of people have been saying that we shouldn't leave that live trap sitting out in the open, that we need to put it back in the woods and brush it in and hide it and all that stuff. But I can promise you, I've caught tons of raccoons out in the wide open area. I backed it up in here just to get a different spot, a little different view for them, and it works, guys. You don't have to take that and stick it back in under a tree and put limbs all around it and hide it. And as long as there's food in there that they want to eat, they will go in. A raccoon does not have a problem going in a little cage. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. The crows are going crazy. There's a ton of crows out right now. And a while back I tried to do a little crow hunting, but I'm really thinking about doing a crow catch, clean, and cook video. I've never eaten a crow. They're not necessarily a problem. They will come in and eat a lot of the corn around the deer feeders. They don't really bother me, but crow hunting is actually a lot of fun. And there are a ton of them right now. Wintertime, there's a lot of crows. They're hungry. But I need to get a call set up and get some decoys out. Maybe not today, obviously. We got stuff to do, but hopefully in the near future, we might do a crow catch, clean, and cook. Let me know in the comment section down below if that's something you guys would be interested in seeing. And if you've ever eaten a crow. You ever had to eat crow? Still nothing in the hog trap yet. Eventually the hogs will come, I promise you. And nothing in the dog-proof raccoon traps. I think that's the first night since we set them out that we didn't actually catch something. We've had 2 raccoons and a possum there so far. And a lot of you were suggesting that we needed to turn off the deer feeder because the hogs were coming into the deer feeder and not the trap over there. Well, I did turn off the deer feeder, I promise you. It was on for a while trying to get the hogs used to come into that area. And the trap's only about 100 yards away. So there's the feeder. And the trap is just right over there. So it's turned off. It's been shut off for several days now. And then a lot of people were saying we need to move the trap over here and put it around the feeder. And that's really not necessary. The hogs, even if we come over here and put a big fence up around this, they're gonna be leery of that, just like they are of that spot over there. And here's the thing, I put feed out on the ground over there in the same spot where I was getting all those trail camera pictures of the hogs. And they just haven't been here in the last week or so. These guys roam around, they roam a huge area, and they'll be here and they'll destroy our field for a few days, and then they may roam off. And then it's like, I kind of feel like wild pigs make a huge circle a lot of times, especially this time of year when it's not hot, when the weather's pretty. When it's really hot, they stay close to water so they can lay in the water during the day and root around and play in the mud and stuff. But this time of year, I feel like they just roam in a huge circle, and it may take them days or even a couple weeks to come back around, but they know there's food in this area, and I promise you, they will be back. Eventually, we'll catch some pigs in that trap. Okay, so here is the whole point of the video. Here's what I'm talking about. So there's a fence right here. It's kind of hard to see. Not the best fence in the world, but it is our boundary fence between my property and my neighbor. And there's a brush pile where they were cleaning up their property. And that's where they put their old dead cow carcasses and calf carcasses that don't make it. And I put a trail camera up over there, so I have permission to do this. I'm not trespassing. Dutch, don't be getting on here making no trespasser videos. But I started doing this last year, and I got some really cool pictures of coyotes and things. And it's kind of gruesome, it's kind of gross, I get it. It's just nature, it's dead calves. They don't have to bury all their dead cows. They can bring them over here, let them decompose, and feed them to the buzzards and the coyotes and everything else. But as you can see, he's got a large property, about 500 acres. And you may not be able to see from here, but there's about 50 or 60 cows out there, and they're all calving right now. And that brings the coyotes in for miles. So let's pull the card out of here and show you what we got. You see what I'm talking about? That is one, well, actually there's two ugly, nasty, sick, mangy looking coyotes coming in here. And there's a reason I call them a chupacabra. They look just like a chupacabra. We've seen one of them around. My wife actually saw one of them crossing our driveway in front of her car, I don't know, a month or so ago, and she was like, I have no idea what it was. It was dark. Ran across the road. It didn't have any hair. She didn't think it was a coyote. But obviously, mangy, nasty, sick coyotes are not a good thing to have around, because, you know, we're always out here running around with our dogs. So Bella and Bear and Gemma and Callie and all of our dogs are out in the woods with us. not necessarily concerned about the dogs getting attacked, but I am concerned that those nasty, mangy coyotes are going to be spreading mange to our animals, our dogs. And that's just nasty. That's disgusting. So let me show you a few more video clips. As you can see, not all the coyotes are sick and nasty looking. There are some pretty healthy looking coyotes. It's kind of cool to watch them jump up in and around that brush pile. They're really spooky. Even at night when there's 2 or 3 of them around, well, you can tell they're on high alert. And you can see why, because if I can find a couple of the clips, there's a couple, I'll show you the timestamps. It's not very far apart. There's times where there'll be a coyote standing there, and then within just a few minutes, bear is standing there, or Callie standing there. And I'm a little torn. As you can see, Callie, our Pyrenees, who's like 12 years old, still gets out and patrols the property at night. Not very much, I don't think. She doesn't get out a whole lot during the day, but Bear's always kind of on patrol. And I don't think that the dogs go very far over on the neighbors. But when the coyotes are all here, and you can hear them when they're here, howling and yipping and all that stuff, the dogs get on alert and come out to run them off. Obviously, they're not chasing them way out in the middle of nowhere. And the coyotes keep coming back daytime and night and all that stuff. So nothing's happened to the dogs. I don't think the dogs are in any kind of danger. Bear's obviously about 3 times the size of a coyote. But those nasty, scraggly, mangy looking Chupacabra wannabe coyotes really, really need to go. We either need to do some trapping or do some coyote hunting, something. I understand coyotes are a part of the ecosystem, and my neighbor puts these cows out here that are dead, these dead calves, and it draws them in. That's fine. I don't mind feeding the predators some and feeding the buzzards and all that stuff. But those sick, disgusting, nasty, mangy looking coyotes, I'm telling you, I mean, literally have almost no hair. And it's a good thing we haven't had a hard winter, because could you imagine what it would be like for those 2 coyotes that have almost no hair on their body if we were down around like 10 degrees at night? If we get a cold spell in January or February where it doesn't get above freezing for 4 or 5 days, gets down into single-digit temperatures at night, there's a really good chance they're going to freeze to death anyways. I mean, they just don't have the fur that they need to stay warm. And in my opinion, I feel like they're already suffering. Could you imagine what it's like for those animals with that much mange on their body, losing all their hair in the wintertime? It's just gross. So did we really catch a Chupacabra on video? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, if you look at the pictures, if you Google Chupacabra and then you look at the pictures there, and then you look at some of the video clips that we got on those dead calves, I mean, sure looks like a Chupacabra to me. Dutch, my buddy from Keeping It Dutch, would probably call it a mysterious black creature. And it is. I mean, I can't argue with the guy. That is a mysterious black creature that we have on video. More than likely, it's a very nasty, mangy looking coyote that's already suffering. But we're going to call it a Chupacabra. And now it's time to go on a Chupacabra hunt. We need to hunt down the Chupacabra and end its suffering. It's just, well, I don't know. Ugly, nasty, sick looking coyotes is what it is. But anywho, I don't know. What do you guys think? Will those coyotes that are that mangy and that sick and unhealthy looking survive the winter? If we have one of those really cold storms that come through, a big blue northern comes down and we get below freezing temperatures for a week straight, do you think they can survive without hair on their body? Is it wrong of us to go try to put something like that out of its misery that's probably going to suffer until it dies anyways? What do you think? What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know in the comment section down below. But that's about all I got for today. The sun's starting to pop out, as you can see. It's hitting me in the eyes all of a sudden. So anyways, guys, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have a great day. And as always, we'll see you on the next video.